Hey guys, what is going on? We have actually received the roadmap for the Season 2 update. I know it wasn't going to be far away, but the next day after we did talk about the little post that they did put out. Basically, we have got a lot of content to cover here. This is basically called Armored War Machines in Season 2. Comes out on February the 14th, and this is a very, very exciting time. We've got changes to the Warzone map. We've got new game modes happening. There's also going to be changes to the Rebirth Island experience, which we did mention a little previously. That's going to be happening in the mid-season update from what I can tell. We've got new redeployment balloons, armored transports, portable decontamination stations, there's Nebula V ammo and Killstreak things that are all happening. There's a lot of different events that are happening in Warzone. In multiplayer, we're getting 2 new maps with Gondala and Casablanca. We're also getting the new modes, which is ranked play, which are coming in beta, which is very, very exciting. I believe that does start with the 2022 COD League. There also is going to be the arms race, motorcycle, and tanks little in-season game mode. This is going to be like that ground war experience that we did see leaked, I believe, and this is going to be coming with, I think, the Alps map, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on this one. I'm sure we'll read more detail. There's also Valentine's Day content, as you can see in the bottom here. The little bear. I like that. Also a new vehicle, which is the Gamma, which is coming in the middle of the season, and I'm sure that'll get chucked into the arms race game mode, I believe. In zombies, there is a new map. There's a new enemy type, which is Zabala the Deceiver. I'm not a massive zombies guy in this game. There's new arenas and stuff to fight in, new wonder weapons. The ray gun is back. There's a new story quest, so a new little bit of an Easter egg probably. New objectives, new allies, and a new artifact apparently. In Warzone, and of course across Vanguard, there are new guns, which being the KG M40, which we did predict in yesterday's video. We've also got the Whitley, which is a little bit of an LMG, and I believe that's what this fella here is carrying. There's also the Ice Axe, which is going to be a throwable melee weapon, which is kind of cool. And then in the middle of the season, we're also getting another weapon, which is a little bit of an SMG, sort of an Uzi style weapon, which is fairly interesting. There's also new perks in mechanic and armor, which again is very, very cool. So on the actual website itself, on the Call of Duty website, this is the blog post that we do have, and we've got all the details for pretty much all the content that is coming. If you do want to stay up to date with all of the Season 2 content, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. We've got loads of stuff coming lined up. It's all very, very exciting here. So the new Warzone features that we did mention, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. There's the Nebula V stuff, which is like the chemical thing, like a chemical warfare kind of thing, gas plants and all that kind of thing. Redeployment balloons are kind of cool, and more, of course. So an interesting part of the update is, of course, the Nebula V ammo, which is apparently no stronger than regular bullets, but it does have one exception. If somebody does get killed, so you down somebody with this, they will emit a poisonous gas cloud, meaning if you do down someone in a group of enemies, they're going to start dealing damage to the other teammates, and they're going to panic, and they're going to freak out, and they're going to be an easy kill, hopefully. Nebula V ammo does take up a single clip of ammunition, but for some weapons, that may be enough to turn the tide of a team fight, especially within interior spaces. So like I said, you kill one of the teammates, and then they all start taking damage, and they all panic. It's going to be a little bit of a mess, but that's kind of cool. Apparently there is a Nebula V bomb, which is a locked briefcase full of deadly gas and with an explosive charge. Once activated and set down in front of an operator, it will detonate after a fixed countdown and cannot be disarmed or destroyed. Its initial explosion deals a high amount of damage at a small radius before the gas spreads outwards, where it may hurt any operator without a gas mask. It lingers for 2 minutes before ultimately dispersing or feeding into the oncoming collapse circle, which is interesting. Not exactly sure exactly how large this is going to be, but it'll be a nice cool addition to the game. Maybe you set this up and then detonate it as somebody does, like a team just sort of drops on it, and then they start taking damage again. They panic, they freak out, and you just get some easy kills. There is a new piece of equipment that can be dropped, which is the portable decontamination station, and this is going to essentially allow you to stay within the circle or the Nebula V area for a limited time. Again, this is going to be one of those things. Well, it will sort of get rid of the gas in a certain area, and this counts for the circle as well. So that's kind of interesting. As you can see here, a lovely armored transport truck. That's going to be goofy as hell. I love this kind of thing. But again, if you do have this in like single player game modes, it could end up being a little bit of a problem, just like the Big Bertha trucks used to be in Warzone. Again, there is the new chemical factory being added. Like you can see, this is spitting out that gas, man. That's pretty cool. The refinery between the mines and the docks that once produced phosphate has now been repurposed into a plant spewing out Nebula V. Definitely a little bit interesting here. There's also an underground chemical weapons research lab, another little bit of a space to sort of play around in. This is going to be kind of cool. Always love the underground stuff in Warzone. There are apparently bomber planes and redeploy balloons coming into the update. So bomber planes are of course going to be able to drop like another bomb on a location. That's going to be kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure how powerful these are going to be. Probably busted at the start, and then they'll rain them in eventually, I would imagine. And of course, a redeploy balloon. This is, I believe, essentially the Apex style. You fly up on the balloon, and then you just sort of redeploy and get a decent distance away from where you're trying to be, which is always a cool idea. I do like that from Apex. I think that is a very cool addition to Warzone. So moving into the Vanguard multiplayer content, which is where we really shine here. This is what we are very much interested in. You can prove yourself in ranked play, launching alongside the 2022 Call of Duty League next season. Expect to be playing in the ranked playlist, which is again very, very cool. I do like the addition of this. Having a place where people can just go sweat, try as hard as they can is very, very cool. We do, of course, have 2 new multiplayer maps getting added, which are ducking through the busy streets of Casablanca or partaking some ski shooting on the Gondola. This is the Gondola map, I believe, with sort of the snowy area. I think this is going to be kind of cool. I'm very, very excited to see what this looks like. There is also free perks, killstreaks, and equipment getting added into the battle pass, which is again very, very cool. We do like to see that. There's a 12 kill streak now, which is sweet, which is going to be like a ball turret thing. You're a big plane, you shoot people on the ground for about 30 seconds or so, but again, we'll talk about that in a second. As we did mention, there are of course 2 new maps getting added to the game in Casablanca and of course Gondala, which is very, very cool. From the North African deserts to the European mountains, Season 2 is serving up 2 traditional multiplayer maps at launch, as well as the largest locale in Vanguard yet during the season. So this is what we were talking about. We're getting another map getting added into the season, which is the ground war style, big style game mode. That's very, very cool. So Casablanca is a shining jewel of Morocco. Casablanca is a medium-sized 3-lane style map within a bustling marketplace with several buildings to explore and climb upon that invite a variety of close to long-range tactics. I think this is actually going to be pretty cool. As you can see here, sort of laneage maps. You're going to be able to jump on these roofs, and as you can see, he's jumping on that little market stall thing. I think this is going to be a pretty cool addition to the game. And then we do have Gondola here, which is again a medium-sized 3-lane style map. Take a trip on the Gondola, which as you can see is going to be one of those things that does end up taking you across the map. This is pretty cool. I do like a moving edition, moving style thing in maps. Take a trip over the Gondola to travel above a large gulch and firewatch tower, but hop off before it jumps off the cliff. Operators can take advantage of the long lines of sight the Gondola route provides, or head through the power plant and caves for a more close quarters battle. So we're going to have a little bit of combat for everyone. I think this is again going to be a good addition to the game. I'm very much looking forward to the new maps. We are, of course, as we did mention, getting the 2 perks, the lethal grenade and the kill streak, which is free in the battle pass. We do have the ball turret gunner, which is another kill streak being added to the game, which the World War II fans out there are going to know the ball turret power very, very well. Beginning with the Season 2 battle pass, the ball turret gunner can be activated for achieving a 12 kill streak. We're definitely going to be trying this out once we do start getting those decent kill streaks. We're going to have a lot of fun with this, I imagine. Of course, we are getting a sticky bomb here, so it is nice to see the Semtex return. A familiar sight for veteran players, the sticky bomb is a direct rival to the frag grenade and the gammon bomb as a throwable explosive equipment piece. Again, being able to get sticks on people, very, very satisfying. We are getting the armory in the perk 1 slot, which is very interesting that they didn't add a perk 2 here. Again, there is another perk down the bottom in mechanic, which is in the perk 3 slot. So I still feel like they do want people to run forward intel, which is a very, very powerful addition to the game. So keep that in mind here. The Armory perk is a direct counter to Engineer. Armory is ideal for operators who can use more than just their weaponry in combat, namely placeable demolition charges, concussion mines, and placeable field upgrade equipment pieces. And then Mechanic does provide a reasonable buff to the field upgrade charge time, meaning you're going to have it more often. I love this picture, man. I think this picture's so goofy. Celebrate Valentine's Day in Vanguard with the big bear. Don't have an IRL duo for Season 2 launch day, Vanguard will feature a Valentine's Day themed experience with some double XP opportunities and thematic changes for dropping in around this time. No love is needed to enjoy it, just invite some friends and bear flame through King of Hearts. I love this. I think this is really goofy. You probably saw this in the thumbnail, but it is a lot of fun. I like this skin. I think it's very, very dumb. Coming in season, Arms Race and Vehicles launch patch notes to drop in the coming days. An arms race with armored war machines is bigger than infantry combat. It's piloting motorcycles, squad transport vehicles, and tanks en route to destroying enemy bases. This and other features are expected to arrive during Season 2, so this is going to be the mid-season update. I think this has the potential to be a very, very cool addition to the game. Sledgehammer Games will release their initial patch notes next week, including weapon balance changes, so keep an eye out for that. I'm not going to talk about too much about the zombie stuff because we're not really interested in that, but I'm very, very excited about this potential sort of arms race, the big open style game mode. If this is anything like a sort of sandboxy Battlefield style experience, I think this is going to be a fantastic addition to the game. Depends how strong the tanks are, depends how strong the vehicles are, but we'll have to wait and see. So of course we are getting 4 new weapons in this season. Now operators will get their hands on several classic armaments to bolster their loadouts across multiplayer, zombies and Warzone, starting with the KGM40, which is a very, very cool looking assault. You can see it here, this thing looks pretty sweet. It's described as a workhorse assault rifle, naturally steady and accurate, so it's going to be a middling fire rate, decent damage I believe, and it's going to be pretty easy to control. Adopted across several Scandinavian armies during the war, we did mention that yesterday, and also the preferred weapon of Anna Drake, the KGM40 is a high caliber, fully automatic weapon that rivals the first 3 assault rifles unlocked in Vanguard. Boasting the second highest damage per shot in its category, a similar effective range to the NZ41, and a fire rate above 600 rounds per minute, this thing's going to do some damage here. This weapon can be a strong contender in mid to long range distance engagements. Its strengths can be fully unlocked when an operator can control its recoil, a mix of horizontal and vertical kicks like the Kuba Carbine, but with a slightly better centering speed. So it's going to be definitely an interesting weapon. I think this looks very, very cool. I am happy to see this get added to the game. I can't wait to play with it. I think it's going to be a great addition. Then we do have the Whitley LMG, a heavy long range machine gun, cumbersome but consistent. As you can see, this is the thing that old matey was controlling yesterday. I'm not sure how it's going to perform. Depends on how it sort of gets around the map and how much damage it actually does to people, but this represents one of the first machine guns ever used in Warfare, rivaling its Battle Pass brother for a strong medium to long range tool across the 3 different game modes. Despite its age, the LMG is highly customizable and even in its base form provides a niche role with the best damage per shot compared to its 4 Vanguard competitors being the other LMGs in the game. We're also getting the Ice Axe in the middle of the season, which is a strange addition, a handy climbing implement that has combat use as a melee or a thrown weapon, which is very, very sweet as well. And then we are getting an SMG in the middle of the season in the Armaguerra 43. That's definitely not how you say that, but I'm not looking forward to having to pronounce that a bunch of times. Very high fire rate SMG, so definitely going to be an absolute bullet hose here. Effective at short to medium range engagements. That is all the details about this because it's only produced in small quantities. It's a little bit of a prototype weapon. Basically looks a bit like an Uzi, which is kind of cool. So it's going to have an absolutely rapid fire rate, but I think it's probably going to be hard to control. Only produced in small quantities, this advanced submachine gun gave insight into how modern CQB armaments could function, even though its design was never built upon in the decades to follow. Due to its prototypical nature, more information is needed to be able to find out its available attachments and effectiveness in live fire scenarios. The Armaguerra 43 can be unlocked in 2 ways, which of course the SMG based challenge or again the store bundle. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how this thing does perform. I'm very, very excited about a super high fire rate weapon in this game. We're probably going to be able to chuck some fat rounds in this thing and absolutely delete people at some ridiculous TTK. So we'll have to wait and see how this thing does play out. But again, I'm very, very excited about all of the content coming in Season 2. That's going to be all the stuff that we do have to talk about today in this sort of roadmap-y style, blog posty thing. But again, I'm very, very excited about this. If you are too, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do have a lot to talk about with the Season 2 update, so make sure you don't miss out on any of that. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!